Everyone talks about passive income like it's this magical thing where money just poof appears in your bank account while you sleep. And I wish, but honestly, that version doesn't really exist. What does exist is income streams that you build once and that keep paying you over and over again with way less ongoing effort than your core business. And for solopreneurs specifically, these can be the difference between a business that controls your life and one that actually gives you freedom. Today, we're breaking down 7 passive income options for solopreneurs that don't show up in every single passive income video that you've already seen. We'll cover what they are, how they work, and which ones make sense depending on where you are in your business. Let's get into it. The first and probably the most accessible option is digital products. But look, I'm not talking about the generic ebook or guides. No. Think deeper with spreadsheets, Notion dashboards, or Canva kits. Anything you can create once and sell an unlimited number of times. The reason this works so well for solopreneurs is that you already have expertise. You're already doing something. You're freelancing, consulting, coaching, designing, writing. And there are people earlier in that journey who would pay for a shortcut. Your knowledge is the product. Here's how the math works in your favor. You spend maybe 20 to 30 hours creating something, let's say a $47 template pack. You put it on Gumroad, Etsy, or your own website. If you sell 10 of those a month, that's $470 in recurring revenue from something you built months ago. Scale that to a few products, drive traffic through content or SEO, and you've got a real income stream. The hard truth though is that building the product is the easy part. Distribution is the work. You need either an audience, a search presence, or a paid ad strategy to drive consistent sales. Like we discussed before, this is not passive on day one, but once the machine is running, it can be. This is best for solopreneurs who already create content, have a niche audience, or have a repeatable skill or process others want to learn. By the way, hey y'all, I'm Nikita with Collective. If you're still here with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button while it's on your mind. We make videos weekly about the solopreneur life and the solopreneur wallet. Okay, on to the next. And this is a step up from generic general digital products. And it's underused because it requires you to actually know a tool well, which most solopreneurs already do. Instead of selling a generic ebook or PDF guide, you build out a specific ready-to-use template inside a platform people already pay for. Think a Notion CRM built specifically for photographers, an Airtable financial tracker built for coaches, a QuickBooks chart of accounts template built for a specific niche like real estate agents or wedding planners. The reason this works better than a generic template is specificity. A generic Notion template competes with thousands of others. A Notion CRM built specifically for wedding photographers with their exact pipeline stages, deposit tracking, and shoot timelines built in has almost no competition, and it sells itself to that niche immediately because it speaks their exact language. You don't need to reinvent the tool here. You'll do the setup work once, so your buyer doesn't have to. And then they'll pay you for hours of customization they'd otherwise have to do themselves. Pricing tends to run higher than generic templates too. $50 to $200 is common because you're solving a specific painful setup problem, not just handing over a generic file. This is best for solopreneurs who've built genuinely useful internal systems and tools like Notion, Airtable, or QuickBooks, and have a specific niche they understand well. The next one is a step beyond a template, and I don't understand why almost no one is talking about it. If you've built an internal process for your business, like a custom pricing calculator, an intake form logic, a scheduling workflow, you can package that system itself, not just a document explaining it. Here's what that looks like in practice. Say you're a freelance designer and you built a pricing calculator that asks clients a few questions and spits out a custom quote. Instead of keeping that as an internal tool, you build it as a Zapier template, a small no-code app, or a lightweight tool you list on Gumroad's app marketplace. Other freelancers in your space buy access to run their own version of that same system. This is functionally different from a template because you're selling the logic, not the file. The buyer isn't customizing a spreadsheet, they're using a system you built that does the thinking for them. The barrier to entry is a little higher. You either need to learn basic no-code tools like Zapier, Make, or Bubble, or pay someone to build it once. But once it's built, it can run indefinitely, and it's something almost no one in the content space is talking about, which means less competition for your attention and your sales. This is best for solopreneurs who've built a genuinely smart internal process and are comfortable learning or hiring out basic automation tools. This is the most overlooked one on this list because it flips who you're selling to. Instead of selling to your customers, you sell to other solopreneurs doing the same job as you. Think about everything you've already written that works. Your cold outreach script that actually gets replies, your proposal template that closes deals, your client onboarding email sequence, your discovery call script. These are assets you built through trial and error, and other people in your industry would pay to skip that trial and error. This is B2B to peer, not B2C, and almost nobody frames it this way. A freelance copywriter wouldn't sell their cold email scripts to brands. They'd sell it to other freelance copywriters who are still trying to figure out what works. The reason this converts so well is credibility. Rather than presenting as some guru selling a course on cold outreach in the abstract, you're a peer who's actually closing deals with this exact script in this exact industry. That's a much easier sell than generic advice. These tend to be lower priced, $20 to $50, but very low effort to create since you're just repackaging something you already wrote for your own business. This is best for solopreneurs who've been in their industry long enough to have genuinely effective scripts, sequences, or proposals, and who aren't afraid to sell to their own peers. This next one, I feel, has been given new life lately with the rise of designers showcasing work on social media and reaching broader audiences. If you create anything, photography, music, design assets, written content, software, even a proprietary framework or methodology, you can license it to other people or businesses and collect royalty payments. Stock photography is the most well-known basic version of this. You upload photos to Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, or Getty Images, and every time someone downloads one, you get paid. The same concept applies to music on platforms like MusicBed or Artlist, and to design assets on Creative Market or Envato. But licensing goes deeper than that. If you've developed a signature process, like say you're a business coach with a specific framework you use with clients, you can license that framework to other coaches. This is more of an advanced play, but it's how a lot of solopreneurs eventually scale without hiring. The income from licensing tends to be smaller per transaction, but highly scalable. A library of 500 stock photos earning $1 to $2 per download per month adds up. It compounds over time as your catalog grows. This is best for creative solopreneurs, photographers, musicians, designers, writers, or anyone with a proprietary system or methodology. This one is a little bit different because it often requires upfront capital, but it's worth including because it's genuinely passive in a way that others aren't. The most obvious version is real estate. Owning a rental property generates monthly income without ongoing active work. You collect rent, a property manager handles the day-to-day. The barrier is the down payment and the financing. But for solopreneurs who've been building wealth, this is one of the most time-tested plays. But there are lower barrier versions too. You can rent out equipment like cameras, vehicles, or tools through platforms like Turo or Outdoorsy. You can rent out a spare room or property on Airbnb. These aren't glamorous, but a solopreneur who rents out a camera kit they're not using every weekend is earning a few $100s a month from an asset that they already own anyway. The tax treatment here could also be favorable in some cases. Rental income has different rules than self-employment income, and depreciation can offset a significant chunk of what you earn. It'd be worth talking to a tax professional about how to structure that if you decide to go this route. This is best for solopreneurs with existing assets or capital to invest, looking for truly hands-off income. If you're already creating content, which, let's be real, if you're a solopreneur building an audience, you probably are. There are ways to monetize that content directly. YouTube ad revenue is the classic example. Once you hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can monetize your channel and earn revenue on every video through ads. It's not a lot per view, but a channel with a library of evergreen videos can generate consistent monthly income on autopilot. Newsletter monetization is growing fast too. Platforms like Beehive and Substack let you charge subscribers directly, run sponsored content, or both. A newsletter with 5,000 engaged subscribers can realistically earn $2,000 to $5,000 a month from sponsorships alone. The common thread here is audience. Content monetization rewards consistency and patience. You're not going to earn meaningful revenue in month 3, but a solopreneur who's been consistently publishing for 2 or 3 years often has multiple content-based income streams that collectively add up to something significant. This is best for solopreneurs who are already committed to content creation and playing a long-term game. Look, y'all, here's the thing about passive income. The word passive can be a little misleading. Every single one of these streams requires at least a little bit of work up front, and most of them require at least some attention to maintain. But what they offer is leverage. You do the work once, and it pays you repeatedly with minimal lift. For most solopreneurs, the best starting point is whatever is closest to what you're already doing. If you've built smart internal systems, productized templates, or selling your process as an automation makes sense. If you've been in your industry long enough to have battle-tested scripts and sequences, sell them to your peers. If you have capital, rentals, or assets, pick the one that fits your existing skills and audience, build it properly, and let it run. Then stack the next one on top. That's how solopreneurs build income that actually works without them. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.